Brit Voyage, welcome to this one. I thought I'd start this off by coming down here and look at this. Look how big these are now. That is so cool. Welcome to this one. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail, thanks for hitting on that. This one is weighing up the pros and cons of retiring in Cambodia. Now, I don't know whether I look at this place through rose-coloured glasses or what. I see the negatives that would be considered negatives, but I guess I just push through them. I have my whole life anyway. I was a chef for 100 years. Got to push through a lot of negatives to do that job. A lot of mental impairment and stupidity as well. But the point is, let's have a look at the pros and cons of retiring here through my eyes, how I see it. So mine will be a little bit different to yours, but let's have a look. Boy, these things are huge now. Now, I'll start off with, in no particular order I guess, but I guess this should be top of mind, is retiring here, you're going to be away from your family and friends. Yep, you're going to be, in some cases, a very long way. Like if we were retiring from the US of A or from Europe, you're a long way. In Australia, we're not quite so far, so it's a little bit easier. But if you're coming from a long way away, yeah, you're not going to have family and friends here. It's usually retiring on your own. Or you may have your spouse here with you, but in general, you're usually on your own. So that can be a con. No family or friends here. Now, on the plus side is that the people here are fantastic. Some of the most incredible people I've ever met. You're going to meet some incredible people here. The locals are fantastic. Warm, inviting, friendly, helpful, beautiful people. Really beautiful people. And I know a lot of comments will say, oh, but there's scams and there's this and that. There's scams everywhere, and that's specifically online. And what I've found is that per capita in a lot of nations, there's actually more assholes in the West than there are usually in Southeast Asia. Just in general, just an observation. It's my own research. I could be wrong, but that's just what I've found. So yeah, so the people are a pro here. They're fantastic. You're gonna love it. But you've got to not be an asshole yourself. Be nice, be respectful, and you'll get along just fine. Now, a pretty big con here is the rubbish. You will find a lot of rubbish, especially on the side of the road and in various areas around town. There is a con of rubbish. You will see a lot of litter. It'll be quite confronting when you first get here, especially coming from the West, where they may have better habits of not littering or things like that, but it's a different culture here. But yeah, and a lot of use of plastics. So for all your paper straw using, sorry, means nothing. But yeah, that's a con, the rubbish. I guess on the rubbish thing, Cambodia is taking steps into fixing that and getting better and better each time at making the place more tidy and beautiful. So it's headed in the right direction with all of that. A major pro here is that it's one of the most beautiful and unique countries in the world. Beauty and uniqueness. So that's a pro, and it's a pretty big one. This is home to some of the most incredible sites on Earth. UNESCO protected sites, wonders of the world, everything here. So a big pro is what is here. It's a monkey bike. It's a monkey bike. That is so cute. That is next to a normal size drone. What a monkey. You don't see many of them. That is so cute. Oh. Also, infrastructure wise, paths and things like that aren't going to be the same as what you're used to back at home. It's going to be a bit more of an uneven surface. It's pretty good in here because this is a tourist area. But as you go further out too, the sidewalks and things like that, walking areas, will be a little bit up and down, a little bit broken, a little bit uneven. Classic example is like that, just in the middle of the sidewalk there. I love it. I actually love it now. It doesn't, it's not a con for me, but I could see why people coming from somewhere else would look at that and think, oh boy, that's terrifying. So right from within in town, you can have like the made road and then turn straight off and just to a dirt road. And it's a little bit bumpy too. They're not too bad, but during rainy season they get quite muddy. But yeah, infrastructure wise, it's not going to be the same as what you're used to in the West. Now, one of the big pros here, of course, is it's affordable. Very affordable here. On all sorts of budgets, on the lower end and on the higher end. You'll find everything from 50-cent beers to $2 food, right up to the top end of the scale. So it's very affordable and has lots of other options as well. Now, a bit of a con can be the weather, particularly the high humidity and the heat. It can get really hot here. I'm filming this in November and it's like perfect. From this November time through to about May, it's magnificent. This is the high season for people to visit and the weather's magnificent. It's cooler, less humidity, it's really comfortable. But you do get a rainy season here and you do get high humidity, so that can be a bit of a con for people. It isn't personally for me. I actually prefer rainy season. It's a bit greener, I like the water, so it's quite good. But now is ideal, but the weather can be a con. High humidity, heat, and a rainy season. Look at it at being a pro, that you do get the change of seasons here, that you get a rainy season, that you get nice weather and more moderate temperatures during the high season, and you do get a bit of heat. The heat ironically really hits hard in April, which is actually the Khmer New Year, but the celebrations of the New Year still go ahead and you can still cope with it, but it does get super hot. But a pro for me is actually that it does change here, that you do get seasons, as it were. Hot and hotter. Hey, did you stay to the end? Thanks heaps for that. I really appreciate it. If you could hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, etc., that'd be great. And feel free to pop a comment down below at what your pros and cons would be where you're moving in the world, and what your pros and cons would be here in Cambodia. That was my little list off the top of my head. Possibly slightly biased, I have to admit that, because I do love it here. Even the bird wants to have a comment. So yeah. That's why it's the Kingdom of Wonder. So thanks heaps, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!